Hello children, welcome to SR Concepts. I am Ravi Verma and in this video we will be discussing about the next topic, that is how do atoms exists. So this video is actually from the chapter number 3, that is atoms and molecules, and we have already discussed what is an atom and what is atomic mass and what is atomic mass unit. Now this is a question, how do atoms exist? So dear students, if we talk about the existence of atoms, then this is very strange, but truth that atoms of most of the elements do not exist freely, singly or independently. They are always bonded together to make a molecule or to make a bulk, or they exist in the form of ions. So dear students, one thing is clear, that atoms are either existing in the form of molecules when more than one atoms combine together to make a cluster, or they exist in the form of ions. What are molecules or ions, we will be learning a little bit later in this video, right? And students, what is written in the next line? These molecules or ions aggregate in large numbers to form matter that we can see, feel or touch. So dear students, suppose if somewhere there is hydrogen gas, then the hydrogen gas is not actually existing in the form of atoms but in the form of hydrogen molecules. Let's learn about this. So dear students, the case is that with most of the elements, atoms are either bonded with the same type of atoms, means the atoms of the same element, or they are bonded with the atoms of different elements. For example, if we talk about hydrogen element, right, then suppose in a balloon or in a container there is hydrogen gas, then the particles of hydrogen won't be actually the atoms singly, but the particles of hydrogen which will make up the bulk of the hydrogen gas, right? These particles will be actually the hydrogen molecules which are represented by H2, right? Which are represented by H2. So in a hydrogen molecule, there are two hydrogen atoms bonded together by a chemical bond. So this is the chemical bond between the two hydrogen atoms. So this pair of hydrogen atoms will be called hydrogen molecule. So in this case you can see that the hydrogen atoms are not existing independently. The same is the case with other elements also, like if we talk about oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine. So with many of the elements this is the case, that the atoms combine together to make a group. In this form they do exist. If we talk about certain exceptions, so there are certain exceptions also to this, that there are a few elements which exist in which the atoms exist independently. So these few elements are called the noble gases, right, such as helium, neon, argon, krypton. These elements are actually chemically unreactive, and because of this they do not perform any chemical reaction, chemical bonding. So atoms of these elements, because of being chemically unreactive, do not combine with the atoms of the same kind or atoms of different kinds. So this is why they exist singly or independently. Dear students, here you can see these elements, the symbols of these elements are written: helium, neon, argon, krypton, etc. Okay, now let's move on to the next point. So as we know that atoms of most of the elements exist either as molecules or as ions. So let's understand what is a molecule. So dear students, a molecule is in general a group of two or more atoms that are chemically bonded together, that is tightly held together by attractive forces. One example we have already discussed, like the example of hydrogen molecule, in which two hydrogen atoms were bonded together by a chemical bond. Another example you can look here. Suppose there was a carbon atom and there were 4 hydrogen atoms. These hydrogen atoms bonded by chemical bonding to the central carbon atom to make a cluster of 5 atoms. This cluster in which the atoms of hydrogen and carbon are chemically bonded, this will be called a molecule. So dear students, here you can see that a molecule may have either the same type of atoms, for example, two hydrogen atoms combined together. So this molecule has the same type of atoms, or the atoms in a molecule may be of different types also. For example, in this molecule, the central atom is the carbon atom and these 4 are the hydrogen atoms. Okay, so dear students, such molecules which have same type of atoms are called molecules of that particular element, and such molecules which have different types of atoms are called molecules of a compound. So another way of defining a molecule is written here in the red. What is written here in the red, you can see a molecule can be defined as the smallest particle of an element or a compound. So the molecule may be either of element or a compound. So that smallest particle of an element or a compound that is capable of an independent existence and shows all the properties of that substance is called a molecule. At the bottom, one more line is written with blue. What is written? Atoms of the same element or of different elements can join together to form molecules. Dear students, look at this picture. In this picture, you can see a large number of carbon atoms are bonded together, and hydrogen atoms are also bonded to the carbon atoms in the form. In this way, a long chain of carbon and hydrogen atoms is formed. This is why this long chain may be called a hydrocarbon, that is a large molecule consisting of carbon and hydrogen atoms. Okay, now let's move on to molecules of elements. So dear students, the molecules may be of two types. One is the molecule of element, the second is the molecules of compounds, as we have discussed. So the molecules of an element are constituted by the same type of atoms. For example, oxygen molecule, hydrogen molecule, chlorine molecule, nitrogen molecule, right? So you will see that a particular element's molecule consists of the same types of atoms. Dear students, there is a term known as atomicity. The term known as atomicity. What is atomicity? The number of atoms constituting a molecule is known as atomicity. For example, the atomicity of a hydrogen molecule is 2, and this will be called a diatomic molecule. Diatomic molecule. In the same way, oxygen molecule is also a diatomic molecule, but when 3 atoms of oxygen combine together, then this becomes ozone. This becomes ozone. When 3 atoms of oxygen combine together, this is called ozone, right? You have already studied about that ozone protects us from ultraviolet radiations. So dear students, the atomicity of molecules may be 1, 2, 3, 4 or multiple. This is very interesting to note that even the singly existing atoms of elements like helium and argon are called molecules. So they are called generally the monoatomic molecules, right? Okay. If we talk about metals and carbon, we have already discussed that even they do not have a single molecular structure. So we cannot say that this one is the molecule of metal or molecule of carbon. So there are no molecule of metals and carbon. In this case, for example, this is a rod of a metal or this is a rod of a carbon, then large number of atoms, indefinite number of atoms are combined to make the whole rod or the bulk of the carbon or the metals. Okay, now let's move on to the atomicity of certain non-metal elements. what are non-metals and metals you have already discussed, we have already discussed. So here you can see the atomicity may be monoatomic, diatomic, tetraatomic, even polyatomic, right? So you should memorize these all. Okay, now molecules of a compound. Dear students, in molecules of a compound, you know that different types of atoms are combined. For example, if we talk about water, then in water two hydrogen atoms are combined with oxygen atom. So this molecule will be called molecule of a compound because it is having different types of atoms. In the same way, ammonia and H3, this is molecule of ammonia compound, right? Carbon dioxide, CO2, you have been studied about this for a very long time. This is again a compound or molecule of a compound is CO2. Now the ratio by masses are given here, we have already discussed about them in the previous videos, right? Something interesting is given here. In this activity, what you need to do, you need to find out the ratio by masses of the elements in a particular compound, also their atomic masses. Then you will find this particular ratio, that is the mass ratio upon atomic mass, and then you will find the simplest ratio, which will be giving you the ratio of number of atoms in a particular compound. So dear students, if we talk about water molecule, suppose if we talk about water compound, right? So you will written hydrogen and oxygen symbols here. Then their ratio by masses, we know that it is 1:8. Then their atomic masses are 1 and 16 respectively. Then you will put this mass ratio upon atomic mass. So mass ratio 1, atomic mass 1. So it becomes 1. In the same way, 8 upon 16, it becomes half, and then you get the simplest ratio 1 by half, that is 2 by 1. This 2 by 1 represents the number of atoms in the molecule, actually the ratio of numbers of atoms in a particular compound or in a particular molecule, right? Now let's move on to the next topic. Let me see how long has become the video. 12. Okay, 3 more minutes I will give. What is an ion? Dear students, the ions are actually the charged species, charged particles, right? And an ion may consist of a single charged atom or a group of atoms that have a net charge, either positive or negative. So dear students, ions generally have either negative or positive charge, and they may be made up of either a single atom or multiple or group of atoms. So dear students, generally compounds which are composed of metals and non-metals contain charged particles. For example, if we talk about sodium chloride, then the sodium chloride is made up of charged particles. Dear students, please remember that a negatively charged ion is called anion and a positively charged ion is called cation. For example, here you can see a sodium ion. Dear students, when look at this is the atom of sodium, right? If suppose sodium loses an electron, it becomes positively charged and then it is called sodium ion. So when a sodium atom loses one electron, it gains one positive charge and then it will be called sodium ion. And sodium ion, because it is a positively charged ion, this will be called a cation. Now if we talk about chlorine, if a chlorine atom gains one electron, right, this is the extra electron on the chlorine atom, then it will become a negatively charged atom. So this negatively charged atom will be called an ion, right? So because this is negatively charged, this will be called anion. This will be called anion. Let's discuss about the formation of sodium chloride, that is an ionic compound that is made up of ions, right? Dear students, we have studied that when a compound is made up of metal and a non-metal, this is generally an ionic compound. For example, if we talk about sodium chloride, then it is made up of sodium metal and chlorine, that is a non-metal. So such a compound generally is made up of ions. Let us see how these ions are formed. So dear students, sodium chloride is made up of two ions. One is sodium ion, the other is chloride ion. First of all, look at this structure of sodium atom or sodium ion. This means sodium ion has a nucleus in it. This is the nucleus, and there are red colored electrons being shown. How many electrons are there? There are actually 11 electrons. How many electrons are there? Number of electrons is written 11. So these red dots are actually 11. These represent the electron. Now the same number will be the number of positive charge present in the nucleus also, right? So when a chlorine atom comes close to a sodium atom, what happens? That sodium atom donates one electron to the chlorine atom. Here you can see this arrow, right? You can see that sodium is donating one electron to chlorine atom, and chlorine will accept this electron. So here you can see this extra electron, this outermost electron has been given to the chlorine atom. In this way, now the number of electrons in sodium atom becomes 10 and number of electrons in chlorine atom becomes 18. Initially it was 11 and 17. Now the number of electrons has changed to 10 and 18. So because the sodium atom is losing one electron, it will develop a positive charge. And because the chlorine atom is accepting one electron, and you know that electron has a negative charge, so the chlorine atom will become negatively charged. Then it will be called a negatively charged ion, that is anion. So you know that different charges attract each other, means there is an attraction between the different charged species, right? So because sodium is positively charged, sodium ion is positively charged, and chloride ion is negatively charged, so there will be a force of attraction between them that will be called electrostatic force or ionic bond. So I hope you got how the ions are formed. The ions are generally formed due to either loss or gain of the electrons. Here you can see that the sodium atom is losing the electron. Sodium atom is losing the electron, so it developed a positive charge, and chlorine atom is accepting an electron, so it is developing a negative charge. So when some species gains electron, it becomes negatively charged. When loses electrons, it becomes positively charged. This is how the cations or anions, or the positively charged ions and negatively charged ions are formed. Dear students, there are polyatomic ions also. There are polyatomic ions also. Let's learn about this. What is polyatomic ion? A group of atoms carrying a charge is known as polyatomic ion. Cluster of atoms that act as an ion are called polyatomic ions. They carry a fixed charge on them, right? For example, if we talk about NH4 positive, then this is a polyatomic ion. In the same way, CO3 negative, right, CO3 2 negative, right, then it is again a polyatomic ion because it has 2 unit negative charge, but there are 4 atoms, carbon, and 3 oxygen atoms. In the same way, this has 5 atoms and this has only 1 unit positive charge. So such a cluster of atoms, right, having a particular amount of charge is called polyatomic ions. Dear students, there is a table in your book in which polyatomic ions are given. You need to memorize them, their representation from that particular table, right? So thank you for watching this video, and in the next video we will be discussing about the next topic, that is writing of chemical formulae. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also share the video. And yes, students, please prepare your notes as given here in this video. Thank you.